Hello and welcome to another episode of 709 Meridian. I'm Andrew.
And this is D.
And this is season 1, so we're still talking about Halloween movies. And tonight we're going to be talking about Halloween H20. You can cue it up. We'll let you know when the title hits or whatnot. We maybe will go back to the YouTube thing, but it's a lot of work and there weren't enough hits on YouTube for it to so
take flight, so to speak.
No custom start point yet. Well, the other thing is, and I don't know if we talked about this last time, this isn't like a new thing. Like the audio commentary podcast thing is, 2 weeks after we recorded our first one, I heard about somebody else who's been doing one for years, and I was like, well, we could always have just done that. So people must be more adept at syncing their commentary tracks than they used to be or something.
Probably.
All right. So we decided pre-show next up is going to be Resurrection, and then we'll be finishing out the season with the 4-2-1 trilogy there. Going backwards, so forwards then back, and skipping some others though.
But we'll have things to say, to just.
Well, I mean, we would have things to say during the Rob Zombie ones. It would just be like, "What the fuck? Why the fuck? What the fuck? Why the fuck is that?" And then
that's what it would be for like 2 hours.
And then during the second one, I could tell my story about how I was like, "No, wait! If you took all this shit out, it'd be okay. Like it'd still be shitty, but it'd be like weird shitty, okay." And then I actually forced myself to watch the other version of it. So I don't know if I watched the director's cut first and the theatrical, but I was convinced the other one was going to be better. And it was like, it was fucking worse. And I was just like, how do you put in worse shit and manage to be better than when the worst shit isn't in the movie? Oh, but yeah. Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
All right.
His horses and grindhouse terror.
I don't know, man. So we'll be missing those, and we'll be missing Season of the Witch, unless we can come up with some future season where it's unconnected entries in a horror series.
Because we keep dabbling on the Halloween multiverse.
Yes, right. And that's not going to do anything for the Halloween multiverse. So,
yeah.
I mean, well, no, because the Thorn thing, but...
there's a possibility, yeah,
right, because Halloween we got to get it going, but H2O is the first time of the 2 times we've seen Jamie Lee Curtis not walk out on one of her kids in these movies. She walks out on Jamie, and that's what happens when Jamie Lee Curtis walked out. But we'll be seeing something different tonight in Halloween H2O. And all right. Or is that it? You got any more pre-show business?
I'm good.
All right. You ready?
And here we go.
Bum, 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 bum. It's good. Like, this is what we're going to be doing the entire thing of this movie is I'm going to be sitting here going, no, this is good.
Like, it's not horrible.
What? Well, yeah, I mean, it's not horrible, but all right. So H2O came after John Carpenter's sort of mid-90s rediscovery, right? Like, I credit the Criterion Halloween that had Jamie Lee Curtis, John Carpenter, and Deborah Hill on it. And that's a bit of a stretch, but it did seem like there was a bunch of John Carpenter sort of emphasis around his new movies or his old movies.
The interest was there.
Right. And so when this came around, it was because Jamie Lee Curtis was no longer embarrassed by her horror movie days because she did the Criterion commentary and she was cool with it. Kevin Williamson wanted to make it because Kevin Williamson was a Halloween fan. And they asked John Carpenter, who said no, because John Carpenter doesn't do remakes unless it's with Kurt Russell, and it's fucking terrible. So
Hints.
Right.
The Academy Award winning Escape from LA.
And so with H20, they wanted some kind of cred. So they got Steve Miner to direct it, who had done House and 2 of the Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, yeah.
And so like he sort of grokked what he was doing, right? And so, yeah, I mean, this beginning is we don't feel like we're in Salt Lake City.
No, this looks more like actual Haddonfield,
right?
But this is Langdon, and this is the nurse. See, our first connection to the original,
and then Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Gordon-Levitt,
during 30 Joseph Rock, right? Like, it's
right. Third Rock
or 30, yeah, Third Rock, not 30. Yeah,
no, this might have been while he was on there.
I think it was. It would have been toward the end.
Yeah, because his hair's, I guess, cut. Or
I mean, it's years before his reinvention too.
Right. Before he became Ed Norton Jr.
That is a good. If they ever touched, they turn into a giant gelatinous ball if they touch.
Right. The same matter cannot occupy the same space.
There's not an Ed Norton the third, though. I mean, we do have to admit that. Like, not yet. But yeah, so this is the
Williamson-esque, the Scream-esque suspense intro here.
And this came out in between Scream 2 and The Faculty. And then
So hence the Dawson casting of what's her face?
Yeah. And so like this was full on like Williamson runs Dimension for 2.5 years until everything bombs, right? Like
then you got your Teaching Miss Tingles and Valentine and kind of the bottom of the barrel ones.
But the funny thing about this one is he doesn't take any credit. Like he didn't take any credit for it. He credited the other writers, and he just was like sort of he's
the face of it.
Yeah, he did the promotion to sell it to the youth.
Because once his name, they had his name on it, that just got asses in seats at the time.
Yeah. It got our asses in seats at midnight on fucking Christmas Eve 2 years in a row or 3 years in a row. Jesus. Like, let's not. I remember that was my favorite because, like, I fucking went and saw The Faculty the next night again. Like,
yes, because that was the best. To me, that was probably the best of those.
The best, yeah.
And nobody, Now,
every 5 years, I come across somebody else who loves it, and I'm like, somebody gets it.
Yeah.
So,
or you have those people who just like, oh yeah, that was awesome. It's like you didn't see it then; you just saw it now, right?
Right. Yeah. It's
which is not bad.
No, as long as you're seeing it,
right?
Like, but yeah. So now we've got the house is cleared.
Yeah.
They could have done they clearly didn't have to at all, but they could have done a 5 reference about clearing the house and him being there like in 5.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot of callbacks to the first one and second one, but nothing else.
Because of course this is, this was to be the be all end all, like ultimate Halloween sequel at the time.
Halloween, Elseworlds, they were not. Jamie Lee was not restarting the franchise, so
right. This eliminated all continuity between, I suppose, 1 and 4.
Like 2. Two's legit.
Okay, one and two. Two's legit in this one, right?
Yeah. That picture of Loomis, it reminds me of that Roy Scheider one in Jaws 4.
Jaws 4, the huge fucking picture they have of his ass.
Which is the weird, obvious movie still picture that they got of somebody that she keeps around.
Still, where it didn't have the Universal Productions watermark in the corner.
All right, so here's our first look at Phil Spector helmet. Is that whose hair that is? It's some 80s guy.
Phil Spector, Tim Burton.
Okay. That is the one thing that there is no excuse for, is they really did a bad job with masks in this one.
Oh yeah. This is the one where you see his eyes, and then it looks like it's molded to his face. Kind of, it's really weird. It's like, who the hell is this when you bought it at the store?
And then the music is John Ottman with additional cues from Marco Beltrami. And this was A
class. This was class A down low.
Yeah. Now we've got Michael killing like Jason again, right? Like themed deaths, which they kind of keep now. He has at least one or two themed deaths in each movie now.
And here we go. Nurse, what's her face?
Yep.
Now, retroactively, this is her first death in the Halloween multiverse.
That's right. If she hadn't left Haddonfield, she would have hung out with Tommy and
she provided Tommy with some of his drugs. She smuggled him some of his smack from the hospital.
Don't they reuse this exact same sequence in Scream 4? Like,
it's in one of them.
That's the one I saw the most recently, so I feel like it's that one.
That's the one I've watched the least.
Yeah. And
down she goes.
There are your stakes. Your bring back from the original. She was in 2 for a second, right? So
super, yeah. That was like the big comeback from one, aside from like the sheriff. Yeah. And they were like, we're gonna pass the torch to this guy, Sheriff Brackett.
I bet that car is a reference to something, but I don't know what.
Wasn't that 5, right?
Is that the car from 5?
Well, the car from 5 was black.
Had a car, but I mean, maybe they did have a big 5 reference.
Maybe it was Dom Toretto. He's everywhere, damn it. Tyler Perry.
But then you've got these two, and it's like, were they supposed to... They were supposed to be recurring Williamson characters who are just at the beginning, like... But the other thing is, Halloween 2 or Halloween H2O is really short. Like, it's like 70 minutes of Jamie Lee Curtis's story. So, like, this is just set up.
It's a damn shame. The artist's rendition is more accurate than the damn.
The artist, like, I mean... Have we gotten to a point where sequels recap bulletin boards are good? I feel like even with CGI, the notes are never like good.
But this is the 20th anniversary, man. This is your mythology here, man.
Well, because I mean,
20 years
the second
of Halloween history.
It's weird coming after the other one, Curse, because in Curse, Tommy was like a Halloween trivia junkie, so it's like same kind of thing. Fake, yeah. Oh, okay. So why didn't they use the original sound?
Was it a problem with the estate or something?
I don't know.
Or they wanted new audio because he's saying something else, but it sounds like the same old fucking.
It's not the exact same thing?
Right.
Okay, so I really thought it was.
But they made a big deal about it, I remember.
Yeah. And yeah, now John Ottman's done with the Halloween theme, and we're into a much more sort of lush
Scream-esque.
90s thriller.
Yeah. Scream-esque.
Thing.
You're waiting for the sweeping overhead shot of the water.
Because in some ways, this is just sort of like, okay, we're going to do a straightforward Scream sort of production, but with
right within the Halloween,
like doing the Halloween thing. It's like the MCU Spider-Man movies are produced by Marvel, but Sony releases them, right? This is
you just still got that big ass Sony symbol in the beginning.
And this is like the post Scream 2 team. This is when they thought they could do no wrong because like Scream 2 hit.
They were pitching a bitch around this point. I think that was like the big reason why they got all of them together to do this.
Yeah.
And this was supposed to be it for the franchise. Once again, this was supposed to be a definitive ending till that first weekend box office hit. And then we go with a tracking shot.
It's funny because this is a year or two before the windy hallway thing is. Oh man, that might be like Vertigo, but it's definitely Argento-y type stuff because like Steve Miner was never he came up in sort of a weird horror time, like because I mean he was more successful than Sean S. Cunningham, and Sean S. Cunningham directed the first Friday the 13th, right? Like,
yeah,
Steve Miner could work with people apparently.
They never became Wes Cravens.
No. It's weird they didn't think about, they use footage. That's what I'm saying. Like, why didn't they have... Then we got...
Josh Hartnett and his haircut.
I kept that going for years, right? I'd say about 2 years.
Looks like he had that shit cut in a dark room from a blind barber. Shit.
Late 90s, man.
Oof. But he wasn't bad, though. The performance is solid.
Yeah. It's
thankless, though, because he doesn't get much to do.
No, and we'll talk about it when we get there, because it's like, spoiler alert, he's Halloween 1978's Laurie Strode, and they treat him like he's Halloween 2's Laurie Strode, right? Like,
right. Yeah. The second half of the movie does him a fucking disservice.
There's absolutely nothing to do. Is that a CGI backdrop? That might be a CGI backdrop. But yeah, now we're in Summer Glen, California. And away from Haddonfield. Yeah.
Not once does...
Is this the only one away from Haddonfield in the series?
This may be the only one away from Haddonfield, period. Because earlier we're in Illinois, but it was somewhere else. So we're in Summer Glen and not Mira Vista.
Well, I think there's definitely just because Janet Leigh's in it, there's a very fog vibe to it. Like, for a second, like they seem They seem comfortable with it as a John Carpenter homage in general, without Miner ever like doing John Carpenter.
Right. You'd think they could have dug old Dean Cundy out of the
Dude, Dean Cundy was working for Spielberg. Dean Cundy shot.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he was big time.
Yeah, he was big time. It was before Spielberg dumped him for no apparent reason.
Shit. You know, I have to get Dean Cundy shot black shampoo.
Oh, wow. I saw that he did something, around that time. Well, you know what? The last thing I heard about him shooting was one of the Scooby-Doos.
Oh, my God.
The direct-to-DVD ones, yeah.
Oh, say it ain't so. Yeesh.
So this is probably the longest character building scene in the whole movie, but it's going to have to do all the work of it, because that was the other thing that they sort of mimicked from the original Halloween is everybody had a really quick setup.
Yeah.
Like no messing around with it. You don't have you don't get Skeet Ulrich in the bed crawling up the window and at school. You only get one of those scenes, right?
Yeah, you can only get one of those two in this one. And it's because, Kevin Williamson, his characters, they speak in monologue.
Yeah.
So there's long stretches.
Oh, that mask. But here we go. Yeah. So here we establish that she's
still tormented.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. We'll get to it, but like, there's like these character motivation things where you're like, the new ones don't do them intentionally because they don't want to be like this. And you're like, well, then it doesn't make any sense if you don't do it like this. So I'm not sure about Michelle Williams' uniform.
Huh.
Like, it feels like she's the only one dressed like that. I don't know.
Actually, in the actual uniform. Yeah. Because what's her face? Jodi Lyn. She's got the turtleneck on, and the guys pretty much have the uniform.
I can't remember if the preview sold it once again as Michael Myers was going to have hundreds of potential victims, and then we didn't get it, like in 5 and 8 or whatever. But
they really sold this as Halloween and Scream clothing. That's what I remember.
Probably should have watched the trailer, and then there's this sequence. This was the sequence that I think, which is like every probably 12 minutes in a Blumhouse movie now, but
yes,
it was a big deal back then. Like, this was, somebody was like, how did you come up with this, Kevin Williamson? He's like, somebody else did.
Wasn't it, didn't they say Tarantino came up with a scene in one of these?
Oh, I think you might be right.
This may be it. Tarantino kind of shadow wrote one of these sequences.
But then they do this.
Sense.
They kind of do this exact same scene in H20, but then they amp it up to the mutilation.
Yeah. Blumhouse standards.
The thing about this is I want to understand the car, right? Because you have like this trendy mom, and they drive around what looks like a junior hearse, like
right.
Like, if you made a figure for a Michael Myers car, that's what it would look like. Like a little Matchbox one, yeah.
And the suspense level is amped up because she has a kid in there with her.
Yep.
And I'm sure Siskel and Ebert had a problem with this. Or they might not have. Since this one had, character shtick.
I don't know. I can't remember. That's the best mask. That was the best mask that they ever have in this movie.
For that quick second.
Yeah, for that quick second. That was the best mask. Fucking kid's gonna give you a heart attack. Like, geez.
And off he goes. Hey, the trade-off isn't so bad.
No.
I'll drive that hot rod. And back we go to the West Coast branch of the Eastland Girls School. Facts of life.
I noticed during this sequence that when LL Cool J is the only black guy there, LL Cool J is really the only black guy there. Like,
literally. Because they don't even put a brother in the crowd shots, really.
No.
Thus the elimination of any, actual, hey, let's be part of the gang type shit.
Not like I think that would be a young woman of color behind them, but yeah, she definitely doesn't have any lines.
There's a couple of sisters, there's a couple of black girls, but no brothers. Unless, it's like a Where's Waldo picture. And here's TV's
Adam Arkin.
George Clooney stunt double. Remember, they had those shows. What was the other show he was on?
Chicago Hope. He was on Chicago Hope. But he wasn't.
He was the George.
Was he? I don't think he was. I think Mandy Patinkin was the George Clooney.
He was the Clooney proxy. And they got a little thing going there.
Yeah.
They're the only two people around their age at the place, at the school. Unless she's giving LL a little something on the side.
She's his boss, right? Like, that's sort of the...
I think so.
Watching this after... we watched the Kaminsky Method, where it's... that's Adam Arkin, so it's Alan Arkin. And so like, during some of these shots, I'm trying to picture him completely bald, and I think he would look just like his dad.
Oh, yeah, he looks just like his dad.
But then I'm like, what does Alan Arkin look like with hair? Like, what a crazy idea.
It makes you wonder, what the hell is Ben Stiller going to look like when he gets old? Shit.
Okay, here we go.
His LL Cool J.
Somebody else had the idea for this romance novel reading. Somebody had the idea for this. I don't know who it was, but like maybe it was Kevin Williamson. I can see that, but
just know Kevin Williamson was like, well, gee, I never wrote for a black guy before. What do they do?
Right, because the black couple in Scream 2 die in the first scene.
Yeah, that was like
that was the big black. Yeah, with Jada Pinkett Smith. That was their big crossover casting.
Yeah, they wanted to do the trope, And then later on, what's his name says, he goes on to say, well, brothers don't hang around here no more, so I'm out. And LL at this point, it been acting.
Yeah, but
I think he was
90. He'd had a sitcom at this point, right?
Yeah, I think In the House was on. So he was already kind of a thing at this point. This was kind of his segue to, I guess, more stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a breakout, but like it showed he can do this, right? Like,
absolutely not. Yeah, people liked him in it. I think that's what. Well, I don't want to, but.
Well, hold on. He did Deep Blue Sea right after this, so like,
yeah. So he had a thing.
Like like it's like
somebody liked him.
For some reason, nobody suffered from Anaconda, but everybody suffered from Deep Blue Sea. Just saying.
Well, shit. When's the last time you heard from Eric Stoltz, man?
Wasn't he recast in something else at one point? Like, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Anaconda was weird. Who lost out in that one? Eric Stoltz and old hot tits who got ate by the snake. You know the one. She used to do all the Skinamax movies.
I've never seen it. I've still never seen it.
You've never seen that?
I know, dude.
All right, let me shut up.
All right. So this is the only time
now.
Yeah. This is the only time we see any Halloween, right? Like that was one of the other neat things about setting it at a private school is you don't have to deal with like everything setting Jamie Lee Curtis off. It's just
she's
in
isolated.
The town.
That's her. Yeah, she enjoyed the isolation from the town. And
what's kind of sad is John Carpenter would have directed the hell out of this movie. Like it really would have been like a Fog-esque. Like he could have done it. Like, but he wanted to smoke pot and play video games.
Hey,
what are you gonna do?
What can you do? That's what John Carpenter wants. Yes, sir, Mr. Carpenter. Yes, we have your PS4 queued up right now, sir. And yeah, you're right. There's a lot of character shtick in this.
Well, because at this point, it's not really a horror movie, right? It's not some horror movie where they called her up and said the nurses got it. She's not worried about it. Like all of this drama is about
drama. Yeah.
It's just the family drama at this point. Like,
because it's been 20 years. 20 years.
She doesn't get her, like, we'll talk about it when we get there, but like if her part of the movie is only 70 minutes, she doesn't like get her big character motivation until like minute 30, like the first time that I'll mention it because it's one of my favorite parts, but
Arkin's not bad. It's just, again, one of those kind of anybody could have played it sort of thing.
It is. Like, this movie's entirely about getting Jamie Lee Curtis back, and everybody else is incidental.
Dirk Benedict didn't want to pick up his phone or some shit. Robert Urich just was like, or was he still? I don't know, but
Judgy Waiter. Like, I'm shocked that he's not credited like Judgy Waiter. Like,
Judgy Waiter, yeah.
Such an asshole. Like, leave it alone, dude.
Hey, Halloween, yeah.
But they don't have on a Scream mask. But we are going to see some of Scream 2 in a bit.
Gosh, for a movie this short, I keep forgetting there's so much of this.
Yeah. There's a lot of build up to it. Because there's very few potential victims for Michael.
Right.
It's not like the other movies where after the first one.
Yeah, after the first one. 2 was just kind of slasher fest,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, this also helped with Jamie Lee Curtis's sort of 90s career because, like, right after True Lies, she did Mother's Boys, and that didn't do her any good. But this showed that she could still.
She still had it.
Yeah.
He had something that they could use, and they should have put her in bigger stuff then. But no, she had to do fucking, what's the one where they trap the parents in the basement? That stupid shit.
Oh, the one with, that one.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah.
We locked our parents in the basement. That bullshit. Christmas with the Cranks came out like in the
but I bet that was probably
02, 03 or something. And he just wants a little freedom, you know, Mom? Come on. He's caring about this Michael Myers guy. And Hartnett just, you know, he kills it. It's just, it doesn't amount to much, though.
No, I would say by this point, well, I mean, that's like the weird mix of it is that he's part of the victim pool, like his teens are part of the victim pool, but I don't know. I mean, it's like Jamie Lee Curtis is assuming the Loomis part, but not. So it's very.
Well, she's walking the Loomis line because she is paranoid as shit, you know. Wow.
Just don't check your rear view mirror and everything's fine.
Just fucking old timey truck just pulls up on a road where nobody usually goes. Damn it.
But I guess like he's not in trouble, so it's okay. Like,
yeah, he ain't trouble. Isn't that from the Universal backlot?
I don't know. Maybe
it looks like it's from the tour. It looks like the where the water comes down.
I mean, I would assume, that wherever the gate is not where they filmed the interior courtyard scenes.
No. I'm thinking a lot of this was, on the lot. Did Michelle Williams ever do another something like this? Like all the Dawson's kids did at least one or two of these. Katie Holmes did.
Yeah.
One of them.
I don't know. Did she do one of the I Know What You Did sequels or no?
Next, there was only two of those. And Brandy was in the sequel.
Oh, okay.
Joshua Jackson did something. I know he was in one of those. Can't remember which one though. And Dawson, I think he did one. Or no, his thing was I think his big
that
big
football movie.
Yeah, the football movie. His beginning and ending was that bullshit. And this is just another, hey, we're just being teenagers sequence.
Yeah, it seems like they realized that private schools were great because you could have teenagers, which are, I don't know, college is too old, so you want to keep them teenagers, but you want to keep as few parents around as possible, so you send them all off to private school.
Mm-hmm.
Like a bunch of things did that.
And apparently Halloween is just this Valentine's-esque celebration.
I like how she doesn't seem to be believing him about the serial killer uncle. Like
when somebody lays a story like that on you, what the fuck? God, she looks so different now.
So
it's
weird.
Not even just the age or anything. She just doesn't look like the same person.
Okay, so there was a Scream scene like this, right?
Oh yeah, they repeat this in another Halloween movie.
Right, but this is from Halloween 1. Like that was the first one to do it. So
it was the first one to do it.
Then they did it in Scream, and now they're doing it again where it seems like a Scream reference, but it's actually a Halloween 1. So it's like very layered. But then we get the Frankenstein.
What I just realized, we're leaving out our countdown.
What?
Halloween, we didn't do Halloween 2017.
Oh yeah, we got to do that again. But yeah, so here we get the kid explains to the adult that your life is actually a lot like Frankenstein and the monsters, Michael, and you're not dealing with it. You're the doctor, and that's the rest of this movie. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's the rest of this movie. Like,
oh yeah. This is the gist of it, yeah.
Because it basically turns her into like Ripley or Sarah Connor. Like,
exactly. When the switch, she just switches like.
So now he's got permission to go on the camping trip, but he's not going on the camping trip because they're going to hang out, him and his friends, and nobody's going to know about it. And so now, of course, if they had just gone on the camping trip, like if she had just gone on the camping trip and he had gone on the camping trip, then you would have had Michael Myers killing a bunch of kids in the woods on Halloween night. You would have had Friday the 13th. Halloween comes on Friday the 13th this year.
That would have been a hell of a fuck you to the Friday the 13th franchise. Huh. It sucks that the Halloween movies are kind of honor bound to take place on Halloween.
Yeah.
Something like that would be kind of funny as hell, where Michael Myers just attacks on a Friday the 13th. Gosh.
So, yeah, I feel like this is more, especially with the Ottman score, I feel like they're leaning in on like sort of a,
mm-hmm.
Like it feels vertigo-y, like it feels more.
Oh yeah, with the paranoia and there we go.
And this scene where it's just like Janet Leigh She's
Janet
like,
Leigh.
hi, I'm your mom in real life, and we were both victims in slasher movies, and somehow I'm getting away with this scene. Like, it makes no sense, but
This, I gotta admit, this is still good. And then when they do the
yeah, they do the car. Like, it's very
car and the psycho music and the
Yeah.
score, this actually was super. This is what these type of horror movies are supposed to be
exactly,
like,
and that's what pissed me off when Jamie Lee Curtis was shit talking this one when she made 40. I was just like what? No, you just made a 90s thriller with a bunch of like, fun jokes. Like,
right, and it's an anniversary movie, so you want it. Your mom was the first scream queen, and then here you are, and
right. There's the music. Turns around. Leave me alone, you psycho.
Yeah, you psycho.
Get the titles in there. But I mean, they've been in the fog together, but I don't think they have any scenes together until the very end when they're.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So now the school buses are leaving, and we are not going to get to watch Michael kill what?
None of these kids.
180
they all get away.
School kids.
Potential victims. And I'm sure he's sitting in that truck.
All safe.
He's just crying in that truck watching.
Why would anybody want to go to
all that potential cannon fodder?
Yosemite that bad. So,
right, all of these kids.
That road shot is actually, I mean, even though he shows up here, it's even more important later, but I feel like that didn't really follow through as well. Like this movie does not have that's probably the longest montage sequence in the whole movie other than the opening dream sequence. I think they recast the wife too. That was one of the other things because it's Lisa Gay Hamilton, and I think they got somebody. I think she wasn't originally, and she wasn't. They cast it later or something. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's because
her part does kind of sound sort of. Her part sounds kind of post.
Yeah,
it sounds recorded.
But I think they got her because they knew she'd do a good job, better job with it than whoever they got the first time. So,
yeah.
And it's weird that this had so much. Like, this was a problematic production. They had it was a troubled production. Like, because you had Dimension, you had Kevin Williamson, you had Mustafa Akkad. Like, I don't think he would have. Well, I don't think he wanted to make this movie as much as he wanted to make some money, right? So it's like
he wanted to make but now here's what I didn't get. Was this them subverting the trope? Because normally Michael would have just killed him and left him in the truck since he's killing everybody, right?
Right. No, yeah. We're establishing the rules of H2O, which are if you if you tease him, he's going to kill you. And then I'm not sure why he killed the nurse.
Well,
maybe to keep her quiet.
He remembers her from that night, or when he escaped, or the whole thing is the connection to Loomis, I guess.
Yeah, but how did the car lights turn off on their own like that? That's a little weird. Because we know Michael's right there, so
you see the hair?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That mask with the hair, like
it's Christopher Walken hair right there.
But it's like better than Curse's mask at times, God. And you're just like, how did you manage to like do a bad mask seriously or something? I don't know.
Wasn't there like a big deal made out of this one too? Like,
well, Stan Winston did one, and that one sucked. And then they tried to CGI one, and that one sucked.
Oh God!
Yeah,
I think I remember that.
But like, they just couldn't figure it out. It's just for some reason they just have had a lot of trouble figuring it out. And I mean, the only way the new ones have figured it out is by making him, 6'6" or whatever. Like, he's got a big old head. Like,
yeah. We also got to mention that Jamie Lee's character, Laurie Strode, goes under another alias here.
Yes, Carrie Tate.
Yeah, she's assumed another identity. She's a completely different person, but just the haunting of her old life.
But we don't get the Halloween theme here, right? Like, we don't get, these movies. That's been like the, through line has been like you rely on the Halloween theme to build suspense, right? And it's just like this one, Minor doesn't do it, which is weird because, Friday the 13th does that. Like, that's.
She doesn't even get to sing her song, neither.
That's true. They didn't think about the song. Oh, man.
That would have been kind of cool if she's kind of muttering that to herself. Going to see Adam Arkin. You lucky dog. Just had the luck of being the only dude his age on campus at all. There we go.
Here we go. So if we're tracking it, that actually was him seeing Michael. We're going to see other shots where people are looking for Michael and don't see him.
Mm-hmm.
So we hadn't established at all that they were roommates, just they knew each other.
And they're watching Scream 2.
Scream 2, that's right.
On television. Which was super recent when this dropped. So them broads was probably watching a bootleg up in that motherfucker. Shit. This was what, 98?
Yeah. And that was Christmas 97, so yeah. It might have been out on tape in 6 months back then.
Maybe. It's very slim. But
and we just hear a noise.
It's another Dimension film, so.
Getting ready for your date with your vodka, as one does. Just like,
it's how you prepare for a date with Adam Arkin.
Right. If he loses all of his hair, he's going to look just like Alan Arkin. This is going to be fucked up.
Punches a mirror and shit. Come on, you can do this. I don't tolerate any losers in this family.
She put the bottle back in she left the vodka glass in the bathroom though, right? Like,
yeah. She's a sloppy alcoholic. Oh. So they're the only ones that stayed.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's never confirmed they're the only ones. There could be other people there, but they are never in danger.
Right. They're absolutely just, they really wanted to. They minimized the hell out of this shit.
Yeah. I mean, they ratchet it way down and they confine it. And it's just like, it's the party at the end of Scream or whatever, right? Like, Yeah.
There were the kids just, hey, we got to go to the football field. Everybody. Even the kids who were locked in somebody's room screwing each other. Come on. So, if we're keeping track of the time, it's been roughly, what, 25, 30, maybe even a half hour.
Yep.
The last murder in this Halloween film. And we still have like a few more minutes to go till somebody else gets it.
Yep. And it's like, this is taking place at, I don't know, like 7:00 at night. So I mean, Halloween H2O is over by curfew. Like,
yeah, it's over by curfew. What, 10, 11? Just banter and more.
Well, it's concerning because like Adam Arkin doesn't seem to be taking it seriously, and then
At all. It's just like, come on. Heard about this shit before. Just take the drawers down. Or you get me all hot and ready, and then you pull this Michael Myers.
And so we were talking on the other episodes about the movie monologue, right? So she had like the 8-minute monologue in Halloween Kills, right? And like Loomis they're always longer and more drunk, But in this one, they're like, nope, we're cutting it short, and Adam Arkin's gonna take it over, and we're done. No monologue in this movie.
Yeah, none, because I think, again, no Loomis. So you already cover who, at this point, Michael Myers is the myth, or, the movie. I like how the movie does assume that whoever's watching it is kind of more well-versed in Halloween lore.
Then it seems like anybody would have been. And I mean, now they have in the new ones, you've got the internet, and so you can and even with Resurrection, right, you can use this. Yeah. But this is just like, it's when the urban myth is, oh God, that series. Urban myth.
Urban
or urban legend.
Yeah, urban legend.
Yeah, urban legend.
So, the first one.
I don't know. I can't.
No?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I just remember seeing all of these shitty Dimension Miramax fucking horror movies at the time. Because part of it was because I was with What's-Her-Face, and we were going to the movies all the goddamn time.
Don't miss it. Hold on. How old were you? Oh, shit, I was 17. Just like my sister was 17. Oh, shit, just like my kid is 17. Huh. I never mentioned that in AA or couples therapy. I wish I had. He comes to kill you at the first Halloween after your 17th birthday. We've just established the franchise.
Oh, hey, look, there's an Ankh on the wall.
What a Harley bumper sticker?
She just pulls out this pistol.
I mean, that's more believable than the door opening out, right? Yeah. But I think the doors don't open out in the other sets. So it's like, no, it was just so they could have
that thing.
Have that shot where they're both in the door frame.
See, I don't even remember that little interaction they had. I thought they didn't see him again until.
Well, he
forgot
originally
all
dies, right? Like that was.
Well, yeah, he originally dies, and then they
reshot the end. I don't know.
They reshot it because the test audience was like, "Oh, come on, how y'all gonna do that?"
So that is
they'll die.
Distressingly realistic scene when he gets shot.
And these two.
But I mean, like the funny thing.
What bet did she lose to be with this motherfucker? Shit. That's Jodi Lyn O'Keefe's, who was one of the, I guess, 90s hotties that didn't quite make it.
Yeah, I don't remember. What show was she on? Wasn't she on a show?
She was on Nash Bridges. But they
she
kept
should have done a movie
to...
where she played Claire Forlani's little sister. They got the same vibe.
Kinda.
All right, here we go.
But she got in this because of the Miramax connection, you know? I think she ended up in She's All That.
Oh, the sort of simultaneous teen movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So they kept her in the loop there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she wasn't in it. She would have been great in The Faculty as Jordana Brewster's character, but oh well. No complaints.
All right.
And finally, now see, wasn't that shot the CG mask?
That might have been.
Because there is a shot in here where the mask is CG.
Yeah, there's one shot where it's CG. That might be it. I still can't figure out this kitchen. Like, it appears to be 3 levels of cooking, but then presumably on the top level is the dining room.
Or it could be a kitchen for each floor. I don't know.
But they send the dishes at the beginning, right? I don't know. Maybe it is just 2 levels.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like it should be more.
Well.
Wasn't there a dumbwaiter in one of the other ones, or no? Am I just...
No, it was laundry chute.
Yeah, there was the laundry chute where she got stabbed.
Yeah, she got stabbed in the leg.
And then you've just got this incredibly fucked up sequence, like...
Yeah.
With a really bad mask. No, that's what it was. Is it has a down button on that one. That's why I thought there were 3 levels. Because the button was on the exterior, but that's the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it pulls the dumbwaiter down from above. I've never ridden in a dumbwaiter dead body before, so I don't know. And then this just sucks. Like,
oh yeah. This one is
like this is a rough death sequence. Like,
yeah, this is one of those like yeesh, which you just gnaw it off.
And they don't it's not like what 4 or not 4, but 5, where they they drag it out, but they drag it out with the suspense beforehand. It's as gory as they're going to get during a...
You know what's the worst one? I've decided that all of these slasher movies in the Friday the 13th reboot, where they kill the brother, he gets trapped in an animal trap. And everybody is standing there in the living room watching this fool die as fucking Jason walks up on him. And he's screaming. He's just, I can make it if y'all just come out here and help me. Yeesh.
There's also like the mask is bad, but you see his eye and you see his eyes through him. But that just adds this level of weirdness. Like it's just like,
And it's funny how they never did the Batman thing with the mask, with the eyes. I guess
right.
the eyes are supposed to, how they raccoon his eyes when the mask is.
No, I don't know, because that's never been in a movie until the Robert Pattinson one that's not out yet. So,
well, it's been in it.
It's been in Air, yeah.
With the exception, but Robert Pattinson is actually makeup.
Yeah, he's actually just going to do it, yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to what the Tim Burton was.
Or it just disappears.
The cowl is on and it disappears.
But I mean, this also breaks sort of Halloween standards by you have the couple together looking as opposed to one of them leaving the other one. Yeah, they split them up.
So this is definitely a...
Head tilt, just like a...
You look like a McFarlane figure right there. And this should have been so much more suspenseful.
What I can't figure out about this sequence is Michael had to have run, right? Or he knows about a door that they somehow completely missed.
Right, because he ends up right there.
He's right there.
And he had to have ran because, you see, he leaps. Michael never leaps,
Very spry at...
what is he, in his 40s here?
41, right?
Yeah.
But that scene had 2 or 3 different masks. So, I mean, it's just like, you can't get...
The stunt mask. The hero mask.
Yeah, it's just like, that's a different mask. It's just like, how did they have that much trouble with it? Like...
Indy, darling.
What was her last? Yeah, I mean, she...
Well, now she wants to be mainstream. She did Venom. She was in the second one for no fucking reason whatsoever. Yeah.
But Michael can't find the key any faster, which is like a...
Right, you see he's struggling with it. I'm going to get to you in a minute.
Oh, yeah, no, the door does open out. So all the doors in this place open out. And it's just like he wasn't expecting her to be like...
Normally he would like stab through the door, because he's Michael Myers, But
it's a steel reinforced door. He knows things now. He's not going to waste his time on that.
It's Kevin Williamson land.
He's got more impulse control.
Yeah.
I mean, that is sort of the thing. This is like, they really could have just been like, no, like, between Halloween 2 and this, he was just some fucking normal guy. Like they can't because they have the hospital at the beginning, right? Like, so he was hospitalized between the first and second Halloween. But no, it's like, oh, and here we go. Yep, obviously.
The crash moment.
Obviously, Adam Arkin is going to, take the gun from the person who presumably knows how to use it better than him and just shoot at a random black man, which is actually like, they're like, Adam Arkin, can you figure out how to do this? And he's just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I was gonna shoot him anyway. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know what it was. The payphone there. Shit.
Well, you know, they didn't even there was no rehearsals.
And then it's just like, we don't need to resolve that at all. We could just
oh wait,
kill him off.
Here's your homage to part 2, where he lifted the nurse up.
Yeah,
but damn,
I think that's all different. Well, wasn't this also at the point that Halloween got popular again because it was like very briefly out on video? Like every Blockbuster had a copy of Halloween at all times. Remember that?
They kept re-releasing part 1 and 2.
And so
part 1 and 2 kept being re-released.
Like it was
part 1, because part 2
was Universal.
And they were very strict with that for the longest time. 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Actually.
So like in the mid 90s, if you went into a Blockbuster, they had
a copy of, because
they had that shit on the counter. Like it was a big deal.
I had that shitty Good Times video copy.
Right. But I mean, I think they at one point had a branded Blockbuster release of Halloween.
Yeah, they did. Because they were.
And I feel like the shot that they used. Yeah. I feel like the shot they used on the box was her in the closet. So we get that recurring like visual to remind the people who remember watching it 2 weeks ago on video.
Oh man. And he just stands there.
Yep. They've just left Michael alone up at the
top of the hill. Just okay.
I was surprised they didn't drive through the gate. I was expecting that.
That was one of the things they could have done.
Well, no, because now
when you're that's right. They never would have left if they had driven through the gate. Now here's another part that always kills me when I see this shit. This is hilarious. Wait, here it comes. This is the funniest shit. Okay, uses a rock to smash this out, right?
Yep.
Boom! Kicks the.
Yeah, but you couldn't kick the. Why would you lock the door? Like the thing of that is she's either like, all right, that's going to convince me I can't go back, or Michael's not going to be able to get out of there when I'm like fucking when he's running from me when I kick his old ass. Like,
oh fuck, man. What the hell, dude?
And now, what are we? 70 minutes in, we finally get the music.
No, they played it.
They played it, but this is the first time it's been on a sequence like this.
Some serious.
Laurie's theme is not the Halloween theme, is what H20 establishes.
Right. Because hers is new. I don't think they do that in this, do they?
Yeah, no. Probably didn't want to pay John Carpenter. Just like, nope. Well, this is what's going to be interesting about Halloween Kills 2 is they've established Michael as an unkillable killing machine, right, as opposed to just having,
So what good is a one-on-one fight with
him? Strength and the element of surprise, right?
How could you kill him one-on-one if he already took out?
Yeah, if he already took out
fire department, an angry mob of people with guns,
and Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael fucking Hall town crank dealer Anthony Michael Hall. This is another sequence I think they've done in other.
Yeah, it's like what? All I could think of was Die Hard.
Yeah. But there's some good ones that nobody's heard of. Like, have you seen Final Exam?
Yeah.
Get that shit, dude. If you don't get that shit, I'll send you a copy.
All right.
Holy shit, dude.
All right, hold on.
Final Exam is one of the greatest slasher movies nobody's heard of.
How's that for your school pride, Michael? But that would have been a great scene if he's like on the table. He's like, little sister, let me tell you, the next time you have a chance to kill someone, you take it. She's just like, boom, boom, boom. Thanks for the advice.
Thanks for the advice.
That would be fucking great.
Oh, this is the sequence in the video game where you got to hit him a couple of times with the knife. You got to hit him in the right spot.
Isn't there a Michael Myers moment where he like can't pick out his knife, or am I misremembering that?
No, I think there was. There was one where he was trying to decide what to use, right?
Yeah. But I thought there was one where that was like they messed up his knives, so he had to find the one he wanted.
Mm.
But this is where it's very convenient when you have a hacienda style school. And now the movie could be over in a second, but we'll find out that
we got a little more filler to go because they ran short. The edit ran short.
That's the funniest thing, though. Like that was like the funny thing about Halloween 1 is there was the lost TV version, and like originally it came out and it was TV aspect. Then they discovered John Carpenter shot it fucking Panavision, so that was a big deal. And it was because it was too fucking short to show on a 2-hour block. So what do they do with this one? They make another movie that's too short to show on a 2-hour block. Like,
I don't know if I'm not sure if I've ever seen this with extra scenes in it, though.
I don't think so.
Like, even when they run it on, like, AMC or some shit.
Right. I think
they pad it out with, like, commercials. And
now that you go longer on commercials, it's easier.
Yeah. Because this is, like, super duper.
And we could be done with the movie right about... Oh, nope, we can't. Because Adam Arkin's actually not a good shot, so that's good. It's like, no, LL Cool J, he's not dead. Like, no. How have you not heard this story?
Right? How have you not heard the story of this man who...
As soon as she convinced Adam Arkin was down with her having a gun. He's like, all right, that's fine.
How did Josh Hartnett not tell everybody on campus, look, man, my mom's kind of fucked up. Happy ending for LL.
Yep. And then we've got the two of them. And then that's it. That's the end of your resolution for your supporting cast. Because now...
Yeah, here comes the definitive ending of the Halloween saga. For only a few years. Oh, the truck with the lights
is still there. Off. I was expecting the truck to be gone.
And the lights are still off.
I feel like this is some of the Friday the 13th coming out in Steve Miner. Like this seems like a Friday the 13th sequence, though it makes even less sense in that.
Well, the music definitely is. Because that's so not Halloween music.
No. Yeah, I mean, that's even... I'm trying to think, though, what experience would she have had with him where he played dead?
Early in the first one. Remember? She stabs him in the living room.
Yes, with the needles. Yeah.
He stabs him with the hanger.
Yep. Okay.
And he got right back up.
This was an impressive amount of time.
So until a certain point, this was the this was the big showdown between Laurie and Michael Myers.
Yep.
Definitively.
The eyes. My God. It looks like a doesn't look like Michael Myers. It looks like a Frank Miller.
Right, a Frank Miller character.
Yeah.
Oh.
What I don't get about this is like, this wasn't a good plan. Like,
well, at this point, she's at unbridled rage. She wants to see the end of this, this monster.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, I'm down with that. But I'm just saying, like, driving off the road is never a good, like, she has no idea at that point that cars don't blow up like it's the A-Team. Like,
right. How come the car didn't blow up, man?
But she did fake her death in a car accident, so they could have, like, prologued that in somewhere. Well, they also were going to refer to the adventures of Jamie Lloyd as movies based on her life, which they cut, or they never filmed it, but in the original draft it was going to be, and they were going to reference them as in-world movies.
Yeah, Jamie Lloyd was supposed to exist as her, like, first child she abandoned.
Which she does in the Halloween connected cinematic universe. She is.
Pretty much. All right, here we go. A little give and take with the psycho killer there. Hey, what, my hair.
He's just your fucked up uncle. Like, everybody's got one.
Hey, this isn't as bad as the nightmare sequence in the season finale of season 1 of Titans, where Robin kills Batman, and Batman is just reaching out to him, muttering something. You haven't seen that yet.
No, not yet.
Holy shit, dude.
See, I feel like the eyes were intentional and they might not like the getting shit off of it. But, like, that scene only works if you see his fucking eyes. Like,
the directors since 5 always had some stupid thing where they say, oh, you have to see his eyes. His eyes are, it's like, no, you don't. Because that was the point. Loomis.
Yeah, but I feel like for this one, you have to see his eyes. Because, I mean, this is not the Loomis story. This is this is more the brother and sister story that nobody ever really...
Oh, yeah.
And then fucking what's his face? Just Rob Zombie just laid into that. Like that was the whole thing.
Rob's not
because he didn't. It wasn't a retcon like it was for Halloween, where
wow, Josh Hartnett got a credit under Janet Leigh.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else in the movie. Was this his first one?
This was his first movie, and then he did Faculty.
Then it was Faculty. Okay.
Then it was Faculty, yeah. And then, but no, he was on that Cracker remake with Robert Pastorelli that I swear I've seen a couple episodes of, but I haven't watched yet. But no, this was his first one.
Wow.
And so, yeah, Halloween H2O, not a huge hit. Sort of.
Well, it
did all right. Like
it did well in that pool of,
but it didn't do Scream money. So
it didn't do Scream money, but it did well enough. Well, that there were whispers of a sequel till Resurrection showed up.
It took him forever to get that off the ground, too, right? Like,
yeah, because I remember there were talks. There were always rumors that, hey, they're going to bring in, what's her face? Danielle Harris.
Well, I mean, you could have just done that.
Poor little Danielle Harris, man.
Just don't. I mean, this could have just been a one-off. Like, you could have easily done it because they'd already established with Halloween, you can just do one-offs. Like,
but this was around the time, again, this is in between Scream 2, Scream 3.
Yeah, and
they dropped. I still know what you did last time. Everything was getting sequels, and
the next one sort of came post. It was after Williamson had sort of burned out, right? Like,
yeah, it was after all that burnt because the early 2000s was like,
yeah. I mean, it was
that burn off where it was like the really bad ones, like Urban Legends 2 and Valentine. There was a bunch of other ones that were just so fucking bad.
Look at that. Skywalker Sound. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Skywalker. Marin County.
Yeah, we should look to see where they filmed it. But, yeah, man, I don't know. Halloween H2O holds up for me. I got no problems with Halloween H2O.
I don't have a problem with it. I just think it's standard for any of these, types of movies. It wasn't, I think when it came out at the time, people were like, yeah. But then when it got to home video, it was like, we was really...
Yeah, we've already burnt out on... We actually burn out somewhere in between. I mean, like that whole year, right? Because, I mean, Faculty was supposed to do Scream numbers.
Yeah,
and they were completely off base with that. Like, nope.
Yeah. They kept that whole line was just every other month there was another one of these. The fuck was the one with Katie Holmes?
Killing Miss Tingle.
No, she did another one though. She did two of them. She did Miss Tingle, and then there was another like horror type.
They don't mention that they showed Scream 2 because you don't have to because it's all under the same roof.
Yeah, right. Dimension. And then we go back to the Halloween theme there. Did they show where it was shot?
No, it didn't say. Yeah. They did not, excuse me, they did not thank anyone.
That's why I think that was somewhere on the Universal lot. Released by Dimension, division of Miramax Films.
Gotta mention the Miramax in action.
Oof.
There we go.
In memory of Donald Pleasance.
Couldn't you tell from that one picture we used? We really missed him. Like, we would have loved to have had him in this movie. Like, What the fuck would they have done if he'd still been alive? Like, that's the other thing is there's no way they could have done this with him involved. Like, come on.
No, he probably would have passed up, or I don't know.
He done it. They would have been like, Donald, we'll give you that vodka that she's drinking in that scene. And he would have been like, I'm there.
I think if he were in it, it would have just been either he would have did the voiceover, or it would have just the Loomis part would have been super small. Yeah. Like she probably would have called him on the phone, and he would have called her, Laurie,
may I please speak to Carrie Tate?
Yes, may I please speak to Carrie Tate? It's urgent.
Janet Leigh's got a scene where she's like, I don't think so. And he's like, no, it's urgent. He's alive. Urgent. She's like,
he's alive. He's coming for you.
This is a very inappropriate call, sir.
Sir, I have no idea who you're looking for. That would have been a great scene. And then she hangs up the phone, and then Jamie Lee walks up. Who was that? She's like, some nut, some perv, some shit like that.
Right. So yeah,
some perverted animal.
So, So what's her face is still alive. So Laurie Strode's still alive in the new one. So she will be back to fight Michael Myers in 2022 or 2023. And so
whenever the hell they drop Halloween.
We'll have to see if they do a H20. That's the only real question at this point.
I pray they don't. They should kill this off. Like,
I don't know. It's like you've got a lot of evidence that you can't figure out how to make this work. You should just run with it after 40 years of object lessons and not being able to make this into a franchise. You should just run with that.
You know what's cool about all of this? Nobody's doing a damn thing with Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, and then Friday the 13th's all locked up because Victor Miller's got something back and he doesn't want to give it away.
Mm-hmm. They keep threatening a Hellraiser.
I think that's filming. I think it's gotten to filming. Yeah, that'd be a fucking podcast watching the 19 Hellraiser directed video movie.
Jesus, no. I watched Hellraiser 3 the other day.
Yeah.
That was the one, I guess, the American one.
Yeah, and that was like was that the last one that they ever put any money into?
I think we put one more in theaters after that.
Okay.
I think Hellraiser 4 might have been the last theatrical, and then after that it was like, we'll make horror movies and then just throw Pinhead in them and call them Hellraiser. Because that's what all of those movies are once they get direct to video. Like all the damn, what you call them? Wrong Turn. Those could easily be a Texas Chainsaw sequel or something else. Another Hills Have Eyes.
They did 2 of those, right? Of the remakes, actually.
Yeah. And then they got saw the Leatherface trailer.
Oh yeah, Netflix has it now. I didn't watch it.
I can't believe it.
How many of those? There have been like 12 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies now, right? Like
there are 8 now. I think 8 or 9. That's how bad it is, and they just go all over the place with them. Like this one's they're pulling a Halloween 2017 with this one where they bring the original survivor back, and she's trying to.
Isn't she 75?
Right, but it's not even her though.
Oh, it's not even Marilyn Burns.
The original, Marilyn Burns passed away, so it's like another actress playing Marilyn Burns, playing Sally. What you call it?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But they're
just
going to do another one in a couple of years that has nothing to do with it.
When it doesn't work out and it gets kicked in, Netflix lets the license pass and it gets over to somebody else. Like,
because what you call it? There's one that came out a few years ago. That was supposed to be a sequel to the original, like a direct sequel, ignoring and then they did nothing with that. They went back and made a prequel again. So. Yeah, because now the prequel is on Pluto TV playing every night. So there's like 2 prequels.
Does that include Leatherface? Because wasn't Leatherface a prequel?
Right, Leatherface is a prequel. Then you had the remake. And after the remake came a prequel.
Yeah.
And after that came the one with what Alexandra, what's her face, and then after hers was Leatherface, and now they're
Is this the first one since Leatherface?
I think this is the first one since Leatherface. I think because again,
it's just like in the aughts or whatever, it was just waiting for Platinum Dunes to get a property, and now it's just waiting for it to end up at Blumhouse, right? Like at some
everything
point,
goes to Blumhouse.
Yeah, everything's going to end up at Blumhouse, and then we'll have that, and then it's just I
don't know. It's so weird. Why do they keep going back to that shit?
Like it's
just like this Halloween Kills. Damn it! What's his name? Kenny Powers, dude, and those guys. It's just, dude. With this next one, I hope Halloween dies for the next decade, and then they could maybe try again to reboot. But it's time to lay these fuckers to rest.
I don't know.
Bring in something else.
Like, there's just a slasher sequels don't really work in the modern era. Like, we're too far removed from when they worked.
No,
like it was very much about the movie going experience. It was
there were like
annual events mostly, and I mean it was only popular for a very short amount of time. Like really popular. It was really popular from 81 to 86. Like
I'd say 81 to 88, because 88 was kind of by 88 it was all about Freddy.
That's right.
And then after 88
immediately.
Yeah, after that it was like, you have your Freddy's Dead and Jason Goes to Manhattan and just the shit sequels that they just kept churning out.
Well, I don't know. I didn't watch them, but Netflix did that Fear Street trilogy.
Oh yeah.
That seems like a better idea though, because you got like half streaming series, half movies. You just do it like a trilogy like that. You don't, make people wait a fucking year for Judy Greer to get killed. Like whatever. Like just get it done and then move on and let somebody else. I don't know. It's just I don't think.
Yeah, they've made remakes of shit I had no idea.
Well, I mean, they made
the other day they had on a remake of The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Yep. I remember when that remake came out. I
just read that they did a remake of Slumber Party Massacre.
Yep. That.
And of course they remade the Night of the Demons. That shitty remake with Eddie Furlong. God.
Is it Uwe Boll?
I don't know who it was, but it was
Eddie. Poor Eddie Furlong. Yeah. So, and it's like H2O gave that all a nice sort of capstone segue into.
That's why I say it should. You're right. It should have stood on its own.
Yeah. Because they didn't need to do it because they didn't end up doing anything with it. Like
no,
the resurrection connection is immaterial. Like it's
no, it isn't. You're right. Because resurrection only serves as to put the cap on Laurie's story,
right?
And then it's like Michael Myers is off to irrelevant shit,
right? Like,
and it just ends up being this entertaining movie, but at the same time, it's like
that's a tack on. Yeah, and
it serves no purpose.
No, you just ignore it. Like, don't even.
Yeah, you can't even. You don't have to watch it. It's not essential. It's a weird entry. the kind of saga here, the franchise,
which we'll get to. But yeah, so that's
that was Halloween H2O's. 20 years.
20 years later, officially part of the title, though I'm still not. I feel like you need a Star Wars level of hyphens and semicolons colons to get to the Halloween H2O 20 years later.
Well, you know what? It was a lot better than just calling it Halloween.
I mean, there is that whole next problem. Yeah.
They're getting to that point where it's like, all right, none of these are going to be the definitive sequel or reboot, remake, whatever you want it to be. So stop going back to the original title because it don't work.
Has there? What's been the? It seems like
they all do it.
Yeah, it seems like it gets you a little bit of attention, and then. But I feel like, yeah, I mean, if the internet marketing engine had been better for H2O, I feel like that would have.
Just think about it. When this new Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes out, it'll be the third movie called The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
First one's got a space between chain and saw, I believe, which is the only way you can
tell from the rest.
Yeah, tell from the rest.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And I think, what's that one? The first one that was supposed to be a sequel to the original, that was, I think, just Texas Chainsaw. Oh, no, it was Texas Chainsaw 3D, but...
I thought it was Leatherface 3D. What?
No.
It's just... it's too much. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this episode. We will be back soon with Halloween Resurrection. And yeah.
Yep. We put a capper on it.
That is the end of the... no, it's not the end of the first timeline. It's the end of the... No, it's the start of the second timeline, right? Yes. Because...
It's the... Well...
Because the first timeline...
The Jamie Lloyd movies are the Halloween pocket universe, I call it.
Yeah, but we only call it that because we're saying that Jamie Lee Curtis makes it legit and not Donald Pleasance.
Yeah. Right.
So, this is the first of the Curtis verse, version 1, and and we just finished the Pleasance verse before.
Yeah. There's the Pleasance verse and the Curtis verse. There you go.
Yeah. And the next one's not going to matter for either of them. So there you go.
Yeah, because the next one, Resurrection, which gets a high gets its high ranking on our list for just being entertaining as shit. And not so much that it's a good movie.
The only Halloween movie that sort of tries to not be constrained by all of the continuity.
Lore. Yeah, the continuity is more.
Yeah.
It just, after that first sequence, it's just balls to the wall. Hey, we're here to have fun. Trying to have fun here at Dimension Pictures.
In 2002, when the writing's on the wall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why we put Tyra Banks in our movie.
All right. Yeah. The casting's going to be something. All right. So, yes, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next time.
Later.